Hey everybody, it's Eddie Joe on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope all is well with you and yours. What's good, what's good, what's good? So we've got a lot going on today. So you know that there was a tweet that was dropped, and that tweet was about a crypto reserve. Immediately following two tweets, actually, and I'll tell you why there were two. The market rose, right? Bitcoin hit as high as 94 and change. That was a good thing. But there were two tweets. The first one was announcing that there will be a crypto reserve. There will be Ripple, Cardano, and Solana. Second tweet said, "Oh yeah, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum will be, in that reserve." And I'm just sitting back and I'm just going, yeah, okay. To me, that demonstrates the lack of thought. This was not a well thought out thing. And like I said yesterday on the show, I think something that's going to move the markets this week is going to be, well, great, you made the announcement. How are you going to make that happen? How are you going to make that happen? Because you've just put out there a $4.5 trillion tax cut plan. So how are you paying for this reserve? How are you funding this reserve? That's one. Two, the coins that you chose. There are a lot of executives out there that are already up in arms about even mixing Bitcoin with anything else, let alone Solana. Now, excuse me, I need some lotion. People don't always think about this, but, there are people that are Bitcoin maxis that, absolutely don't care about any other coin. They don't believe that any other coin should ever exist, period. Those are Bitcoin maxis. And I kind of think about it as, I understand where you're coming from, totally get it. Do I agree? Not really, right? I only think that, so I can see a reason for Bitcoin and Ethereum, duh. Can I see a reason for Cardano? Absolutely. And most people don't even realize it. The reason for Cardano is it's got a finite number of coins, right? Which kind of puts it in the same space as a Bitcoin if you think broad picture. It's based in the United States. Again, if you think about it, broad picture, okay, Cardano kind of makes sense. You can build on it. It can grow. It can do all kinds of things. Okay, so Cardano makes sense. Ripple, for some of us, makes sense. For others, I can start to see why. Why Ripple? What are you talking about? What are you doing? I mean, you could also ask that question of Cardano, but Cardano brings to the table certain things that, even Ripple doesn't. So I just kind of think about it as, okay, but I can understand the choice of those two coins. There's only one reason why you would choose Solana in this case. Only one. He and his wifey, launched their coins on Solana. The Trump and Melania coins are both on Solana. And when you really stop and you think about that, that's the only reason why. There is no fundamental value to having Solana as a part of the strategic reserve, because Solana can take a hit big and just drop. It just needs one network interruption and everybody questions it. It happened 5 times last year. It happened already once, at least once this year. Yeah, nah. Twice if you count the launch, right, of those two coins. I don't think Solana's ready for the big time. If I can't use it at an enterprise level, why would I put it in a reserve? That's silly. That's absolutely silly. I can do a lot of things with Cardano. I can do a lot of things with Ripple. Those are two arguments that I could make why they could be involved, in the strategic reserve. Totally get it, right? Totally get it. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano, and, Ripple, XRP to be specific. I totally get it. Solana I don't get, except that you can't snub Cardano, because it's not even about snubbing Cardano. It's about, if I say something positive about Cardano, maybe my coin goes up. If my coin goes up, I stand to make more money. Because if people invest in my coin, they can now prove to me, in secret that they've invested in my coin. Here's the wallet with the coin in it. And then I'll do things for them. That's actually something that could happen. It's a blind kind of thing. So, yeah, that could be a problem. But I boost Solana just by saying something. You want to know what was missing? Everybody out there holding on to Doge. Dogecoin was missing. Dogecoin hasn't been talked about at all within the government spheres about doing anything with it. Nothing. Not a thing. So yeah, when I think about that coin, I'm kind of like, yeah. But, there are people, like I said, there are maxis out there like Peter Schiff, just going, yeah, why? Why are we doing that? Huh? You have other Bitcoin maxis just going, there shouldn't be anything other than Bitcoin. But you have a lot of people questioning Solana. I haven't heard any questions, except for Bitcoin maxis that don't like anything other than Bitcoin. I haven't heard anything negative about Cardano and XRP. But but Solana on the other hand, that's like a big, yeah, nah, son. So I don't get it. We also have tariffs that are coming due tomorrow. Tomorrow those tariffs kick in, and there are things that are going to come out of that. There are parts of New York, there are parts of the United States. Think any state close to Canada, right there. They get some of their power from Canada. This has not been well thought out. So those tariffs are going to kick in tomorrow. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to suffer? Anybody wanting electricity? Anybody wanting power? Right? That could make it hurt. Anybody looking for, car parts? Chicano was good. You realize, holy moly, I've now picked fights with my two closest, trading partners. And then you have China. China's like, well, fine. I guess you guys don't need any, what is it, gallium? You don't need any other things from us in terms of precious minerals. Oops. These precious minerals are for what? Things that go into making military items, things like that. So that's going to be painful. Economic hit is not going to be fun. Hey, Bijan Rain, thank you for the salute from Thailand. Welcome. So I sit here and I wonder just about, how those tariffs are going to hit. Something else that's happening that people don't realize is the committees in charge of Social Security and Medicare have been told they have to decrease their spend. They weren't told specifically what to decrease, but the numbers were so high that you would have to hit those two programs. So this is a way for the government to take whacks at those programs. Now, that could also have an impact on the economy. What else could have an impact on the economy? Well, you have a whole lot of people that are now jobless that came from the United States government. And I don't know that there are enough jobs out there to absorb everybody. I also know that there are a lot of jobs that are going overseas, that are being completely offshored. Even then, I know that there are a ton of H-1B visas that are being issued for jobs onshore. So that's going to add to a population of unemployed. Do I think that some of those unemployed people are going to wind up starting their own businesses and doing their own thing? Yes. A good number. But a huge number? Not really. Which means that we're putting, the economy in danger. Period. I don't care what anybody says. That's going to be a problem. So when I look at crypto and how everything is just coming together, I sit back and I go, the United States is going to have economic problems, right? Problems that are self-inflicted. Mind you, the world's economy is not all that strong. Not all that strong at all. So the United States arguably has one of the best economies. With these tariffs, not so much, in my opinion. These tariffs are going to cause problems. They're going to cause really big problems. So I pay attention to that. What else do we have? Riot Platforms reports $376.7 million in revenue for 2024. And that's a huge swing from 2023 when they were down just a bit. They were down just a bit. Remember when I told you Riot Platforms is now in the energy business because they bought a wind farm in Texas. Riot Platforms is firing on all cylinders. They've got artificial intelligence that they're dipping into, high performance computing that they're dipping into alongside their Bitcoin mining. And again, buying that wind farm puts them in the energy business. Like, nobody's saying it like that. Oh, they bought a wind farm to supply energy to their data centers and da 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 da. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, you people aren't thinking straight. You're not thinking straight. They're directly in the energy business. Huge move. Huge move. But that report of how much revenue they made, kind of cool. And then MasterCard came out with a report. 90% of small and medium-sized enterprises in the Middle East and Asia are going cashless. That's a huge wow. Going cashless. And I'm kind of like, Middle East and Africa, my bad. Now, if they're adopting digital payments at that level, that's not small. That's a huge deal. Digital payments, that means things like Cash App, their version of Cash App, whatever, Venmo, their version of, and crypto. Those are huge. When things move toward crypto, they move faster, they're more secure, those vendors have their money in a heartbeat, and it serves to help the bankless. People that don't have access to bank accounts, they can do crypto, directly. OTC, as they say, over the counter. OTC to me is like kind of a bad term, but whatever. But they can do crypto directly. I want to buy this from you. You have crypto. I have crypto. It means we both have wallets. Boom. Now I take that and I go home. Didn't have to use a bank. No, the transaction didn't go through a bank, through a credit card company. Nothing. Just crypto. That's what we're talking about. So when I listen to people talk about how crypto is nothing, it doesn't mean anything, it has no value, there's still executives out there that are talking like that. I just go, how long will it be before you go broke? You're either going to go broke or you're going to wake up. Which one is it going to be? And I'm just waiting. Yo, Turtle Bitcoin, what's going on? So these are things that are happening. You want to know something that was really slick that happened while this new regime actually said that about the new crypto reserve in the United States, and we'll get to that. There's something else I want to say about that. Ripple unlocked 1 billion XRP. What timing? What timing to unlock 1 billion XRP while that news is going on? You want to know why? It minimizes the impact on the price of the coin itself. That's why that move was very, very slick. Ridiculously slick. Yeah, that was a smooth move. That was a very smooth move. Now, when I look at the announcement from Trump, everybody's asking still, how and when? We've been hearing talk about this since before you elected. How are you going to fund it? And when are you going to fund it? David Sachs was supposed to be on his team to go review the how. Last time I heard him speak about it on his All In podcast with the rest of his billionaire homies, it was like, yeah, we're still looking into it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, just like that, we're going to do this. Okay, how and when? And here's the really big question for me. While you were making this announcement, what else were you doing that you weren't talking about? Because that's how it happens. You make everybody look over here while you're really focusing in on doing something over there. And that really could be telling, the committees in Congress, hey, you have to make cuts to what your committee is in charge of, or to how much money you spend in the committee that you're. And so you look at that and you go, Social Security, Medicare, those were the two committees. Go look it up. I'm dead serious. It's not funny. That's going to have huge impact. Is this a good thing, them unlocking RPL? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Right? Because that unlock means it hits the market. That's fine. It's going to have little impact because of how they timed it. I'm sure there was some coordination. And moving on. Ripple makes some money. More decentralization because as they sell the coins, it's almost a win-win. Then you've got, is that going to suppress the price of you mean not Ripple, not RPL, there's nothing called RPL, you mean XRP? No, I don't think so. If anything, it'll have a small blip, but it's raised so much because of the announcement that extra billion coming onto the market, nobody's going to think of anything of it. They're not going to think anything of it. The reason why I made the correction is because there is XRPL, their actual ledger. And I would think that there are still going to be talks about, no reason for the oops, I think there's still going to be talks about if the United States is going to work with RLUSD as a stablecoin. Yeah. So when you start to put everything together, you kind of go, I look at my calendar and go, there are some good things that we could see coming. There are some good things that maybe we'll see them coming, like this, like, oh, we're going to have a reserve. You've been saying we're going to have a reserve since before you were elected. How and when? I've been reading articles. Oh, he finally announced his strategy. There is no damn strategy. All I want to know is how and when. Is a $4.5 trillion tax cut. Do you think that's coming down to the regular person? No, it is not. It is not. So there are a lot of questions that a lot of people have. A lot of people have. Did you know that if you wanted to cut $1 trillion or close to $1 trillion off the U.S. budget, all you have to do is cancel a couple of Tesla contracts? True story. Go look it up. You know what I tell you every day. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB 3. Do those 3 things every day. I don't agree with a group of people controlling the supply of any currency. I get it, but it's not currency. You mean, because currency is what countries control. You mean digital assets, right? Totally get you. Totally understand. You're never going to have a separation of money and state until you have something like crypto turn into money, right? Because Bitcoin is the one that's stateless. Bitcoin's the only one that's stateless. All the other coins are. So look at the ones that he announced that he wants to work with for the reserve. All of them except for Bitcoin are based in the United States. Bitcoin is the only one out of all of them that is stateless, that is truly stateless. That's why there are so many Bitcoin maxis. You can't get mad at Bitcoin maxis. They have reason to believe in what they believe, and I don't blame them for it. Bitcoin is the only coin out there that is stateless. Now you can also say, well, so is Cardano, given the level of decentralization that Cardano has now. So you can kind of say, well, Cardano is also now stateless. Charles Hoskinson can talk as much as he wants, but he no longer controls what goes on with Cardano. Might have some influence, but yeah, he doesn't control it anymore. Excuse me. So there's a lot that's going on. Well, yeah, Turtle Bitcoin, I think you should go do some research on Cardano. When you've got thousands of people that can vote on something to make a move, that's pretty damn close to stateless because 10,000 people around the world. That's pretty much stateless. That is pretty much stateless. So, no, totally get your argument. But again, I look at Cardano as being, there's a finite number of tokens. It's the most decentralized coin out there after Bitcoin. Ripple is not. Solana is not. Ethereum is not. Right? So when I look at what goes on, I'm looking at Cardano as the closest thing to Bitcoin after Bitcoin. So I can totally go for Cardano's comeuppance. I really can. Yes, mutable by people voting. 10,000 people around the world and growing. And growing. Again, I would ask you to go do some research on that. You might change your mind. Possibilities there, but you'd have to get to, what, 5,001 to exact change? You'd have to get to 5,001 people to assert any kind of force against that. That's not a small thing to be able to do. But you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. All right, let me get my notes out of the way. Fear and greed index was at 16. Now we're at 33. We're still in fear. We're just not in such deep fear. So from 10 to 16 to 33. Good movement. Good movement. But I think that the fear is, across the markets, not just in crypto. Let's see. You said something else over time. DeFi Llama. Still above 100, not where I want it to be, right? But a little bit better. So it's at 104, 382 billion in total value locked. Not bad. All right. Now you're looking at the big board and you're kind of like, let me see something real quick. We'll look at that in a minute. So Ethereum bounced up, Bitcoin bounced up, XRP obviously, Cardano obviously. This is the one that's going up. Like when the news hit, Cardano was like 90. It had bounced up all the way up to 90 cents. This is another 6 cents that it added to it. Solana's at 160. Here's the problem that I'm seeing. Solana could take a hit. All you need is a network problem, and Solana will take a hit. That whole fiasco with Libra, that was another thing that happened. Pump.fund, that was another thing that happened. Big, meme projects just falling off because people aren't getting into memes as much as they used to. That happened. Again, Solana is, to me, not ready for prime time. It's not ready for, real-time transactions. If you've got transactions that don't require real-time, you've got an online store. Okay, cool. That could work. But you have an in-person store, and that transaction is supposed to happen, boop, boop, right there? No, because their network can go down. Why do you think enterprises won't work with it? It's because their network can go down too easily. They haven't solved it. They have not solved it yet. They act like they have, but they have not. Not in my opinion. Link is up. Link is another one that should have been, in my humble opinion, should have been added to that reserve. Because nothing happens in Web3 without Link. Straight up, no doubt. Nothing happens in this space without Chainlink. That's not a thing. So that's something that makes me think about it. Looking at it from this perspective, from a year to date, everything's starting to get a little bit better. Let me refresh this. All right, everything's starting to get a little bit better, right? But Ethereum's still down 20, almost 30% year to date, right? XRP is up 26% year to date, expected. Not a bad recovery. Everybody else is down, down, down. Then you get to, right here, Cardano, 14% positive, not bad. Hedera, you could also argue that Hedera could be on the list. You could argue for her for Hedera. Like I said, Chainlink is something that should be there. Chainlink to me is still having a fire sale. To me, Chainlink is still having a fire sale, and I'm all about it. I'm fine with it. Love Chainlink. Love Stellar. Even though it's not doing so great, but I love those two. I'm looking for one in specific. There you go. Litecoin. Not up as much, but for the year, I mean, where else are you going to get 13%? So there are certain coins out there that I'm looking at that could do well. Sui's been taking it on the chin. Avalanche's been taking it on the chin, but those two I also really like and hold them. Shiba Inu is down, but I think Shiba Inu is going to come back. I really do think Shiba Inu is going to make a comeback. I think Mantra, Polkadot could also do well. Polkadot's got that ETF that's on tap. Mantra's just on fire. I think right now all you're seeing with regard to Mantra is profit taking. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMadBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about us, and if you can, become a member. Members come with benefits. And if you become a big bagger, so a regular membership is a bagger, a big bagger, we've got a video conference call coming up this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And only big baggers are allowed on there. And we talk about everything from tips, tricks, different projects, different ideas. And yes, we of course talk about coins, but we talk about investment in general. All of our bags are not tied up in crypto. Some of us own businesses. Some of us have day jobs and do investing on the side. There are a lot of things that go on, and we share all those ideas and thoughts and opinions. Become a big bagger. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMadBag.tv. Really, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.